Let's go over just some basics when you get into your embroidery machine and how to pick designs, how to get them to move around or rotate, and then also how do you get them to stitch out. So this is just kind of an overview, and then we'll get into each of the sections as we start to embroider a design. So with the USB stick in the machine, go ahead, if this does not show, touch the little heart, and this will bring up the screen that allows you to access the designs from your USB stick. So embroidery design files, those are the built-in designs. The designs, you have 101 built-in designs, plus you have alphabets, yay. Each of them are kind of divided into folders. Designs 1 through 15 are in the first folder, 16 through 20 in the next, and so forth. So if we would just go ahead and open up a folder, it doesn't matter what design I pick, but CR for creative, design 16. So if I go ahead and pick that design, it will come into the machine. I'm touching OK to get it to activate. It does come in and tell me which hoop I should have on. So if that hoop is not the hoop that you're going to use, you need to adjust it and make it show the hoop that you're using. Next, the information shows your total stitches. So if this says like 40,000 stitches, make sure you're not starting like at midnight because you're going to be there a while. Plus, you're going to be able to see how many colors are in this design. Now, I happen to pick a design with just one color, but if it had 4 colors, for example, it would have said 1 of 4. And then if I wanted to go through to another color, I could use these buttons and go jump color to color. We also have, so this is usually the screen that you embroider from, but we have a few other areas I want to show you around. So for example, if you touch the Alt button, this will allow us to check around the corners of a design. So this is a really big design. So you're going to watch, this is going to move all the way around. It even shows me which corner it's indicating by the little dot you see on the screen. So now I'm down here, and then, let's see here. I went backwards, so now it's going back to the next one. But it will, the one thing I do want to show you is it will come to the center of the design, not just the first stitch of the design. So if I need to move that right now, I can use the arrows left or right to move that design if I can. This design's actually pretty wide. I don't have a lot of wiggle room there. So next, so that's for checking a design. We use that a lot, especially if you're embroidering on some clothing options. You want to make sure everything is lined up, especially like above a pocket or something. You don't want that crooked. All right, the next one here is basting in the hoop. We have a video on this, which will allow it to, you'll notice a dotted line. This would allow, like if I couldn't hoop something, I could hoop my stabilizer and then lay my fabric over the hoop and then do a basting stitch all the way around that design, and then it will start into my first color. So that is a nice option. It's really just a toggle on or off. So if it's dark, it's on, and you notice the design disappeared and went to a dotted rectangle in that. The next one down here indicates monochrome. So if we had a design that had 4 colors and we wanted it not to stop after each color, we just wanted it to sew it all the way through like we do with lettering, you want to come into here and darken this area, and it will allow it to not stop. So it'll just sew from first color all the way to the 4th color, or however many colors are in the design. All right, let's go into, now one thing that you'll notice, there's always this little P on the screen. Let me get you into one of the other sections. So the little ABC and the hoop with the butterfly will get us into the area where we can rotate. Now watch the little P on the screen. We can rotate, with its design, just we can flip it north and south, so it says 180 degrees. But it would do 90 or the 270. I think it's 270. All right, but notice where the P is. It's upside down, so that does give me an idea that I am flipped over on my head versus being straight up and down. We can also see that when we mirror image it. So if it goes left to right, I'm seeing a mirror image that way, or even flip-flopped the other way as well, or all of them. So you can actually have all the mirror images on at once. We also have the ability to size a design. So these options are sizing. You can see which way it's shrinking. It's shrinking this way with these 2 buttons. And you can usually go up and down to about 20%. It does not change the stitch count. So if you have a design with 10,000 stitches and you make it larger, you still have 10,000 stitches. That's why they kind of cut you off at 20% so you don't get gaps between those stitches. And vice versa though, if you shrink it, you still have 10,000 stitches, you're getting really dense, so be careful what you're stitching. I don't do a lot of reduction here on the screen. That's where I might go in and do it in the software. Remember the free software you got with your machine. So these would allow you just, to make it fit in just a little bit here or a little bit there. You do have a slight adjustment with sizes. So if the numbers are not highlighted, that means you're back to the normal size. So when you're ready to actually go and stitch, you can come out of here. Usually once you start stitching and you lower the presser foot and push the start button, then you will be embroidering from this screen where you can see the stitch count going on, how many colors or what color you're working on, what step you're working on. And that's going to be real helpful because your information for your design will always show you, okay, what you're doing at each of those different steps. These are some of the designs that are built into this machine. And so I can see that like for this one, I have 6 steps or 6 colors to work through, where this one I only have 2. When you're done with the design, just go ahead and touch the heart. That will get you back out of your design area and back to the USB stick. You do need to actually arrow out and touch the OK button to go back. And you might even need to go back again to get you back out to another folder. The only time you don't want to take the USB stick out of your machine is when it's running, obviously. But if it's stopped at any point, you can turn it off. A lot of people turn their machines off, then take their USB stick out. Just know that you don't take it out while you're stitching. So that should give you a nice little overview. Oh, wait, one more thing we do have in the settings. I do need to get in and I'll quick pick a design here. There was one more section here to show you. I'll get a design up on the screen. So this one has got 4 colors, it's got 14,000 stitches. Now if I go into the settings, this is where you can actually go in and do what's called current position. Park position would park the embroidery arm all the way to the side. The cut position right now is grayed out, so I won't talk about that right this second. You do have your thread tension, so if you're seeing any bobbin thread coming up to the top, you do want to go in there and just reduce it down. That's usually what needs to be done, is just you want the top tension not to be so tight, so smaller numbers what you're looking for. If you were to use a twin needle or want the stitch width safety on, those are still options. Or if you wanted to turn off the automatic stop for the cut, that is an option. You can uncheck that box. And I think the rest should be all just normal, regular setting things. But there is a few things that we'll go into from time to time in the settings. And to get out of here, just touch the tools.